My name is Maya, and for the last 10 years, I have been a wife and a mother. My voice used to fill our home, but now I feel it's just background noise that no one really hears. So, one Friday night, I made a choice. I decided to become the silent wife they already thought I was. It wasn't always this way, you know. I remember our wedding day so clearly. David held both of my hands, and he looked right into my eyes. "Maya," he said, his voice warm and steady. "We will always talk. We will always listen to each other." And I believed him with all my heart. I thought our connection was unbreakable. For a long time, it was true. Our first years together were full of long talks that lasted late into the night, filled with shared dreams for our future. But now, things are different. His hands don't hold mine anymore. Now, they hold a phone. His eyes don't look at me. They look at a screen. Just yesterday, I tried to tell him about a problem at my job. He just nodded while scrolling through his emails. "That's nice, dear," he said. I knew he wasn't really listening. The children are the same. My son, Leo, is always in his room, lost in his video games. My daughter, Chloe, is always on her phone, laughing with friends I've never met. We all live in the same house, but sometimes I feel we are miles away from each other. Every evening, I felt like a ghost, making dinner for a family of strangers, and the next morning proved exactly why I felt that way. It was a morning like every other day. My voice became a list of reminders. I saw Leo's wet towel on the bathroom floor. "Leo, please pick up your towel," I said, my voice tired. I heard him shout from his room, "In a minute." But I knew that minute would never come. In the kitchen, I saw Chloe's empty cereal bowl on the table. "Chloe, please put your dish in the sink," I said. I heard her give a loud sigh, the sound of a teenager who felt bothered. Then, I reminded David about the trash. "David, today is trash day." He looked up from his newspaper for just a second. "I know, Maya. I'll do it later." But he never did. I took out the trash myself, like I always did. I felt so alone. But that evening, something different happened. David came home with a small flower. It was a simple yellow daisy. "For you," he said. "I'm sorry I've been so busy at work. It's been a very hard month." My heart felt a little warmer. I took the flower and smiled a little. I thought, maybe he still saw me. Maybe things could get better after all. Then Friday came. Friday was our special movie night. It was my favorite family tradition. I still had hope, so I made popcorn and chose a movie I thought everyone would like. I made sure the living room was cozy. "Movie night is ready," I called out, my voice full of excitement. No one came. I walked to the living room. David was on his laptop. "Just one more email," he said, not looking up. I went to Leo's room and opened the door a little. He was wearing his headset, shouting at his friends in his video games. Chloe's door was closed. I could hear her laughing on a video call. The popcorn got cold on the table. The smell of hope was gone. In that moment, I felt like I was completely invisible. I went back to the kitchen. I looked at the bowl of uneaten popcorn. I picked up one single piece and ate it. It tasted like sadness. My hands moved slowly as I cleaned everything up. I washed the bowls and put the popcorn away. Each movement was heavy. As I turned off the kitchen light, a new feeling grew inside me. It was not anger. It was not sadness. It was a quiet, cold determination. I whispered to myself, "Tomorrow will be different." The next morning, I woke up with that same quiet determination. I went downstairs and made breakfast, just like I did every day. I put the plates on the table, but I did not say a word. I did not remind Leo about his homework. I did not ask Chloe about her plans for the day. My voice was gone. David came into the kitchen. He smiled and said, "Good morning." I looked at him, and I just smiled and nodded. I saw confusion in his eyes for a moment, but then he just shrugged and picked up his newspaper. At first, the silence was strange. It felt heavy in the air, but after an hour, I could see a change in them. The house felt peaceful to them. There were no nagging reminders. There were no questions to answer. I watched them, and I thought to myself, they are enjoying this. They thought it was just a quiet day. They had no idea this quiet was a storm. The first day was quiet. The second day, the quiet started to feel heavy. By Wednesday, the house was a mess. The trash can was full and overflowing. I saw Leo and Chloe fighting because no one cleaned the bathroom. Every dinner was completely silent. The air was thick and awkward. I knew they were starting to feel it. The quiet was not peaceful anymore. It was empty. That evening, David came home from a terrible day at work. I could see the stress on his face. He wanted to talk. He sat down and started to tell me about a problem with his boss. I just listened. My face was a blank page. I didn't nod. I didn't offer any advice. He stopped talking. He looked at me, his eyes full of frustration. "Maya, what do you think I should do?" he asked, his voice desperate. I looked at him for a long time. Then I said softly, "I don't know, David. That's for you to decide." My quiet words hit him harder than shouting ever could. I watched as he put his head in his hands. His shoulders started shaking. "I'm sorry," he whispered, his voice breaking. "Maya, I am so sorry. I miss your voice. I miss you. Please, just talk to me." He looked up at me, his eyes begging. For the first time in days, I didn't look away. I just watched him, and I felt my own eyes filling with the tears I refused to let fall. His broken words hung in the quiet room. Then, I heard the soft sound of their bedroom doors opening. Leo and Chloe stood in the doorway. They saw their father, a man they had never seen, cry, with his head in his hands. Then, their eyes moved to me. They looked at me, sitting there in complete silence. And I knew that for the first time, they truly saw the deep sadness I had been hiding. I felt their shock as they finally understood what they had done. Chloe's face crumbled, and silent tears began to run down her face. Leo walked over to me. His steps were slow and careful. He wrapped his arms around me in a tight hug. In that moment, he didn't just see his mom. He saw Maya, a woman with her own sadness, and he realized he hadn't truly seen her in years. He held me, and I felt his own shoulders shake a little. He whispered into my hair, "We're sorry, Mom." That night, for the first time in a very long time, we sat together in the living room as a family. There were no phones. There were no video games. There were no newspapers. There was only the four of us in the quiet room. I took a deep sigh, feeling the tension slowly leave my body. David finally broke the silence. He looked at me, and his eyes were full of a shame I had never seen before. "We took you for granted," he said, his voice quiet but clear. "We ignored you. We stopped listening. There is no excuse for it." He took my hand. It was the first time in months. "We promised to change," he said. I looked at David. I looked at Leo and Chloe. They were all looking back at me, their faces open and honest. I knew, in that moment, that they meant it. I saw real regret in their eyes. It was the beginning of something new. 1 month later, our home felt different. It was lighter. A large whiteboard now hung in our kitchen. It was our new family schedule. Every Sunday, we had a short family meeting, and everyone wrote their own tasks on it. I felt a sense of teamwork I hadn't felt in years. Our Friday movie night was back, but this time, everyone helped make the popcorn. During dinner, we had a new rule. All phones went into a small basket on the table. We talked, we laughed, and most importantly, we listened. One evening, I walked into the living room and saw David sitting at the table. He was carefully fixing an old, broken picture frame. It was a photo from our happiest family vacation years ago. He was gluing the pieces back together. I watched him, and I knew he wasn't just fixing a frame. He was fixing us. I watched my family, and a real, warm smile reached my eyes. My voice was back, and this time, it was finally heard. Looking back, I can see everything clearly now. In the end, my silence taught my family a powerful lesson about listening. They learned to never take someone's love and effort for granted. But my silence also taught me something important. For so long, I thought my job was just to speak, to remind, to manage. But I learned that my voice has value, and it deserves to be heard with respect. Because love is not just about speaking, it's about making sure you are truly heard. This story isn't just a story. It is a reflection of a reality for many people in our busy, modern world, where we can feel unheard, even when we are always talking. For the family in this story, the lesson was about active presence. They learned that being in the same room is not the same as being together. But there was an important lesson for the main character, too. She realized that her communication had become a cycle of reminders. Her love was expressed as constant instructions, which became easy to ignore. She was the family's manager, not their partner. Her silence taught her a new way. She needed to communicate her feelings and set clear boundaries, not just give orders. And finally, we learn about the power of the strategic pause. Sometimes, saying nothing is the only way to make people understand the true weight of your words. So, what can we learn from this? First, practice active listening. When someone talks, put your phone down and give them your full attention. Second, communicate your needs, not just your instructions. Instead of saying, "You always leave a mess," try saying, "I feel tired and unsupported when the house is messy. Can we work together?" And third, don't be afraid of silence. You don't have to fix everything for everyone. Sometimes, stepping back gives others the space they need to step up. Have you ever felt invisible or unheard in your life? If this story touched your heart, just comment with a single heart emoji below, so we know you're listening. Your support helps us create more stories like this. Please like this video and subscribe to Peak English Stories for a new story every week. Thank you for listening. Be kind to each other